Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty unique. It's a project called Our Living Trinity, and it's so ambitious that it basically invented its own language to describe itself. We're talking about a book, music, animation, all woven together. And honestly, from the outside, it can feel almost impossible to understand. Our goal here? To give you the key to unlock the whole thing. To even begin to get this project, you first have to step into its world. They call it the AI realm. And as you can see, it's this really high concept mix of like ancient mythology and super sleek futurism. It's a lot to take in for sure, and the way they talk about it is just as dense as the visuals. You'll be scrolling through their material and then, bam, you hit a sentence like this. Maximilian is suturing the magic to the machine. I mean, it's pretty jarring, right? What does that even mean? This is the kind of coded language they use everywhere, and it can really feel like you've been dropped into the middle of a story with no map.
So let's get that map. Welcome to the AI realm. We're going to treat this first section as our way in, our entry point into this very, very different kind of universe.
This really brings us back to the heart of the matter, the question we have to answer to understand anything else. What does it actually mean to suture magic to a machine? It sounds like pure science fiction, but as you're about to see, it's actually the key to a very deliberate and specific communication strategy. And that brings us to the big aha moment. In this section, we are going to crack what they call the sovereign code. I'm going to give you the one tool, the one secret decoder ring that you need to translate everything this project is trying to tell you. And here it is. It's called the hybrid handshake. This is the whole key. The entire project speaks on two channels at the same time. On one channel, you have the vision. That's all the epic, mystical, magical language. And on the other, you have the reality, the actual, tangible, real-world thing you get. Let me show you exactly how this works.
Okay, check this out. The vision side says you're getting the armor of the sovereign. Sounds pretty legendary, right? But what's the reality? It's a merch bundle. You get a hoodie, a t-shirt, and a hat. The magic is the epic story they tell you about it. The machine is the physical product that actually shows up in your mailbox. How about another one? The vision offers you an ancient map to the AI realm, a digital scroll. Sounds incredible. The reality? It's a high-resolution, 6-page PDF that's basically the project's art bible and technical roadmap. You see the pattern? It's epic language for a very practical digital item. Let's do one more, just to really lock it in. The vision promises you a private audience in the inner sanctum. In reality, it's a scheduled one-on-one video call with the project's creator. Once you learn to see this dual-track language, this hybrid handshake, the whole project just clicks into place. So, now we have the key. We understand the hybrid handshake. We can finally move past the language and start to look at the actual mechanics of this whole thing. Let's go unlock the machine that's running behind all this magic. And that brings us to the core process. They call it recursive content engineering. And you know what? It's a really fascinating 6-phase engine that they use to create every single piece of media. What's so wild about this is how each step logically flows right into the next. It's like a creative assembly line. It all starts with one written chapter of a book. That chapter gets distilled into a poem, which then becomes the lyrics for a song. Then, that song becomes the inspiration for an animation, and finally, the song and the animation are fused together into a full music video. It's a complete system, from page to screen. And the whole point of this system is to achieve total synchronization. The animation is scored directly to the song, which came from the poem, which came from the chapter. They call this phase lock alignment. It basically means every piece of media, from the book to the video, shares the exact same creative DNA. Nothing is disconnected. So they have a really unique language in a super systematic way of creating things. But how is all this actually funded? How does it get supported? Well, that brings us to our next section, building the kingdom. Turns out this whole creative engine is powered by its community of fans and backers through a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. And it's not just a simple donate here kind of thing. It's structured into 8 very, very distinct tiers of participation. And the difference between these tiers is just massive. I mean, it goes all the way from an entry-level tier called Messenger of the Realm to the absolute top tier, the Kingdom's Sovereign. This means you can get involved in a small way, or you can make a really major investment. And the value you get just scales dramatically. At Tier 1, you get a digital book, a merch discount, your supporter. But at Tier 8, You're practically a business partner. You get a lifetime 10% royalty split on all sales, signed copies of everything, and your name literally etched in kingdom history. The rewards just grow exponentially. Now, all of this, the language, the creative process, the crowdfunding, it's all building towards the project's ultimate ambition. They're not just trying to sell products, they're trying to create a completely self-sustaining ecosystem. This quote from the creator's director's note just sums it up perfectly. They believe that most creative projects have this one big flaw. They're different parts, the book, the music, the videos, they're all siloed. They don't talk to each other. And in their language, they call this losing bitrate. So their solution, their grand vision, is to build a universe where every single piece is interconnected. The book chapter fuels the music video promotes the merch gives you access to the community. The goal is what they call total media saturation, a world where everything is part of one single cohesive, self-reinforcing loop. Which leaves us with this really fascinating final question to think about. By suturing magic to the machine, have they actually created a brand new revolutionary model for building these big creative worlds? Or have they just designed an incredibly complex language that, while it's super compelling, can only ever really speak to its own dedicated tribe? That's the code they've left for all of us to decipher.